What's up, everyone? Welcome back! Long time no see. Technology hasn't exactly been my friend lately, but I'm back and also looks a bit different. Rearranged my apartment. This is now my new filming spot. So today I want to talk about improving your writing, and more specifically, I want to talk about how you can use reading in order to improve your writing. Even if you love your writing and you think it's great and it's perfect, which let's be real, it's probably not, improving is still beneficial. I really just want to talk about how to use reading as a learning tool for your writing. Because as great as just reading can be, if you pay a little bit more attention and you even analyze some of the writing afterwards, it can not only help you become a better writer, but can also help you become a better storyteller, which are two different things. But those are two skills that you need in order to write a good book. I've been trying to make reading a bit of a priority this year, not only just for my mental health, but also to help my writing improve as well. My reading has really been slacking over the past couple of years, and I personally found that the more I'm reading, the better and more enriched my writing becomes. While just reading can be enough to improve your writing, here are the specific ways reading can do so. Number one, you learned to write through reading. Think about what made you fall in love with reading in the first place. Most of us started out as avid readers. We loved books so much that we wanted to create something that made others feel the way that these books made us feel. Books really show you the magic and the power of words. They introduce you to this idea of creating characters and lives and worlds in your head and then translating them into words so other people can see and feel those same things in their own mind. Reading was pretty much the start of everything for most of us. By continuing to read, you're staying exposed to those elements. Your imagination and creativity stays sharp for your own writing. Number two, books show you how to tell a story. Being a good writer and being a good storyteller are not the same thing. You can write pretty words all day, but if you don't know how to tell a story, your book will not be very good. A large majority of what makes a book good is being able to tell a story in such an intriguing way that the reader cannot wait to read the next chapter. They have to read it. Some people are gifted with being naturally good at this, while others have to work at it and they have to learn how to do it. One of the best ways to learn is to read. When you read a really good book, chances are the story is excellent. Not every good book has super strong, fancy writing, but if they tell a great story, you're going to be captivated by it. After the story is done, think back to it. What made it so special? What elements stood out to you and made you want to continue reading from chapter to chapter? How was the story told, and what did the twists and turns look like? Breaking it down can really help you discover how to tell a story and not just how to write pretty words. Number three, you learn the structure of a novel. There are so many different ways that you can structure your novel. I can't even tell you all of them personally, but there is a specific way you want to write a book and tell a story. If you think about the books you've read, all of them kind of follow a very similar path structurally. It's less about the storytelling and more about the way that the story is constructed and what elements are next to each other and different events from chapter to chapter. They all pretty much have a specific progression of events. You've got the inciting incident, the rising action, the climax, the resolution, all that fun stuff that you learned about in English class, and then some. And when you're done reading a story, or even when you are reading a story, ask yourself what the author did there. What made you want more? Were there contrasting scenes placed right next to each other? What did the climax look like, and what did the action leading up to that look like? How much can you look back at previous chapters and see how they're related to the ending of the book? Thinking about all those different aspects of a novel can help you understand them better so that you can write them better. After all, the way I learned to write is from all the books that I read. I probably couldn't sit here and give you the exact name of different structural methods, but because I've read so many different books, I recognize how to tell a story and how to write a book from start to finish. Number four, you learn what not to do. I'll be honest, there are some shit books out there. Even some books on the New York Times bestseller list aren't very good. That being said, if you find yourself caught up in those books, you can still learn something even if you didn't really enjoy them. Specifically, they can teach you what not to do. Now, this doesn't mean to go out and find bad books to read. That's not the case here. But if you do happen to find yourself reading a book, or you finished a book and you just really didn't like it and didn't think it was good, think about why. What did you not like? What did they do that made you want to put the book down? I recently read a book that was actually helpful in two ways. Firstly, it had really pretty language and very beautiful metaphors that I was able to learn from because those are not my strongest point. But then it also had way too much flowery purple prose, and it was just overkill. And that taught me how much pretty words is too much. So although I didn't finish it and I didn't like it, there's still a lot that I learned even from the third of the book that I did read. So even if you don't like a book, don't think that you wasted your time completely. Number 5, you learn to write different elements. You'll be exposed to a lot of different types of story if you read outside of your norm or your preferred genre. This can actually really help you expand your skill set. Reading romance or contemporary as a fantasy author can help you focus on things like how to build a relationship or how to build friendships and stuff like that, versus just reading fantasy books and focusing on the magical elements. And reading sci-fi as a fantasy author can help expose you to different methods of world building. Another benefit of reading outside your genre is that it stops you from comparing your work. As somebody who writes fantasy and reads a lot of fantasy, I'm always comparing my magic or my characters to other ones. And obviously I try not to do this, but when you're reading fantasy and you're writing fantasy, it can be really difficult to not compare yourself. And that can actually take away from the learning experience or even just the enjoyment of the book. So reading in a different genre can help you step away from comparing the book to your own story, so you can actually focus on the different elements that can help you improve your writing. Overall, reading outside your genre can just help sharpen your skills with writing different elements within a story. And that's all I have for you today. If you didn't need another excuse to read, this is it. It can actually improve your writing a lot if you sit down and you read books not only for the fun, but if you think about them and you analyze them afterwards and you ask yourself questions about the book. Digging deep and learning more about writing really helps you improve your skill set. What are some things you feel like you personally gain from reading? How does it help your writing specifically, if it does help your writing at all? Let me know in the comments below, and if you want more writing tips, make sure to subscribe to my channel. I post a new video every Thursday. You can also follow me on social media. All the links will be listed below. Until next time, thanks for watching. Now go write.